DNA testing, also known as genetic testing, involves analyzing an individual's DNA to gain insights into their genetic makeup, ancestry, health risks, and more. There are various types of DNA tests, each with its own technology and scientific principles behind it. Here are some common types of DNA tests and the technologies behind them. 1. Ancestry DNA testing. These tests provide information about an individual's ancestral origins, ethnicity, and migration patterns. They are based on the analysis of specific regions of the DNA called single nucleotide polymorphisms, SNPs, that are known to be associated with different population groups. Companies like 23andMe, AncestryDNA, and MyHeritage offer such tests. Technology. These tests use DNA microarrays, also known as DNA chips or genotyping arrays, to analyze hundreds of thousands to millions of SNPs simultaneously. Microarray technology involves attaching short DNA fragments that correspond to specific SNPs to a solid surface. The person's DNA sample is then labeled and applied to the microarray, where it binds to the complementary DNA sequences on the array. The pattern of binding provides information about the individual's genetic variants. Two. Health and traits DNA testing. These tests provide insights into an individual's genetic predispositions for certain health conditions and traits. They analyze specific genes associated with various diseases and characteristics. Technology. Similar to ancestry DNA testing, health and traits DNA testing also uses DNA microarrays to analyze specific genetic markers. Additionally, next-generation sequencing, NGS, techniques are employed to analyze entire DNA sequences or specific regions of interest. NGS involves sequencing millions of DNA fragments simultaneously, generating vast amounts of genetic data that can be used to identify disease-associated variants. 3. Carrier screening. Carrier screening tests identify individuals who carry a single copy of a gene mutation associated with a recessive genetic disorder. These individuals usually do not exhibit the disorder themselves but can pass the mutation to their children. Technology. These tests primarily use DNA sequencing technologies to analyze specific genes known to be associated with the disorders of interest. Polymerase chain reaction, PCR, is often used to amplify the target DNA regions, and then sequencing methods like Sanger sequencing or NGS are employed to identify mutations. Four. Pharmacogenetic testing. Pharmacogenetic tests analyze how an individual's genetic makeup affects their response to specific medications. This information can guide personalized medicine and help avoid adverse drug reactions. Technology. These tests involve analyzing specific genes that are involved in drug metabolism, transport, and receptor interactions. DNA sequencing or genotyping methods are used to identify genetic variants that influence drug response. 5. Y-DNA and mtDNA testing. Y-DNA testing focuses on the Y chromosome and provides insights into paternal lineage, while mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA, testing examines the maternal lineage. These tests are often used for genealogical purposes. Technology. Y-DNA and mtDNA testing typically involves sequencing specific regions of the Y chromosome or mtDNA. PCR and DNA sequencing methods are commonly used for this purpose. Overall, the technology behind DNA testing has evolved significantly over the years. From traditional methods like Sanger sequencing to high-throughput techniques like NGS and microarray technology. These advancements have enabled researchers and companies to analyze large amounts of genetic information efficiently and affordably, leading to a deeper understanding of genetics, ancestry, and health. The Geno 2.0 test offered by National Geographic's Genographic Project was a DNA testing service that aimed to trace the deep ancestry and migration history of individuals. The project was launched in 2005 with the goal of using genetics to better understand the history of human populations and their migration patterns. Geno 2.0 test. The Geno 2.0 test analyzed a specific set of genetic markers from a person's DNA sample to provide insights into their ancient ancestry and migration routes. The markers included both mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA, and Y chromosome DNA, yDNA, markers, which allowed the project to track both maternal and paternal lineages. Technology behind the Geno 2.0 test. The technology used in the Geno 2.0 test primarily involved DNA microarray technology and DNA sequencing. One. Mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA. The test analyzed specific regions of the mitochondrial genome, which is inherited maternally and doesn't undergo recombination like nuclear DNA. This makes it useful for tracing maternal lineages. The DNA samples were amplified using polymerase chain reaction, PCR, and then analyzed using DNA sequencing or genotyping methods to identify specific mtDNA markers. Two. Y chromosome DNA, yDNA. The yDNA portion of the test focused on analyzing specific regions of the Y chromosome to trace paternal lineages. Similar to mtDNA, PCR amplification and DNA sequencing or genotyping were used to identify yDNA markers. Three. Autosomal DNA. The Geno 2.0 test also included analysis of autosomal DNA, which is the DNA found in the 22 pairs of non-sex chromosomes. Autosomal DNA analysis provided insights into recent ancestry and could reveal genetic connections to specific population groups. Migration patterns and ancestral origins, by comparing the identified genetic markers with a reference database of worldwide populations. The Genographic project aimed to trace the ancestral origins and migration routes of individuals' distant ancestors. This information was used to create maps and visualizations showing the migration of human populations over thousands of years. Data contribution and privacy. Participants in the Genographic project had the option to contribute their genetic data to the project's research database. This collective genetic data helped researchers gain insights into human genetic diversity and population history. Participants' privacy was protected, and personal information was kept confidential. Please note that as of my last knowledge update in September 2021, the Genographic project was winding down its operations. And National Geographic had announced that they would no longer be offering the Geno 2.0 test kit. If you're interested in the most up-to-date information about the Genographic project and National Geographic's DNA testing offerings, I recommend checking the official National Geographic website or other trusted sources. History of DNA and evolution of DNA testing technology. 1. Discovery of DNA. The history of DNA dates back to the mid-20th century. In 1953, James Watson and Francis Crick elucidated the structure of DNA as a double helix, laying the foundation for understanding its role in genetics. This discovery marked the beginning of the molecular biology era. 2. Early DNA testing. The initial DNA testing methods were labor-intensive and focused on specific genes using techniques like Sanger sequencing. These methods were costly and time-consuming. 3. Advancements in sequencing. The development of automated DNA sequencing techniques, such as Sanger sequencing, revolutionized genetic analysis by allowing faster and more efficient DNA sequencing. 4. Next-generation sequencing, NGS. NGS technologies emerged in the 2000s, enabling rapid and cost-effective sequencing of large amounts of DNA. NGS has transformed genetic research and testing by allowing the analysis of entire genomes or targeted regions. 5. DNA microarrays. DNA microarrays, also known as DNA chips, enabled the simultaneous analysis of thousands to millions of genetic markers. This technology was used for ancestry and health testing. 6. Geno 2.0 test and the Genographic Project. National Geographic's Genographic Project, launched in 2005, used DNA microarrays and sequencing to trace ancestral origins and migration patterns through analysis of mtDNA, y-DNA, and autosomal DNA markers. Human evolution and close relatives. 1. Human evolution. Humans belong to the family Hominidae, which includes great apes. The evolutionary history of humans spans millions of years. Our lineage, Homo sapiens, emerged in Africa around 300,000 years ago. Over time, our ancestors evolved unique features, such as larger brains and the ability to walk upright. 2. Genetic evidence. DNA testing and genetic analysis have provided crucial insights into human evolution. By comparing DNA sequences among species, scientists have uncovered genetic similarities and differences that offer clues about our shared ancestry. 3. Close relatives. Our closest living relatives are other great apes, chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, and orangutans. Genetic studies have shown that chimpanzees are the closest relatives to humans, sharing a common ancestor around 6 to 7 million years ago. 4. Genetic variation. Genetic variation among humans is a result of mutations, recombination, and natural selection. DNA testing has revealed that humans are remarkably genetically similar, with around 99.9% of DNA sequences shared among individuals. The small fraction of genetic differences gives rise to the diversity seen in traits, health, and ancestry. In summary, the history of DNA testing technology has seen remarkable advancements, from the discovery of DNA's structure to the development of NGS and microarray technologies. These innovations have enabled insights into human evolution, ancestral origins, and genetic diversity. DNA testing has provided a window into our shared ancestry with close relatives and shed light on the remarkable journey of our species over millions of years. The migration of humans from Africa to other continents is a complex and fascinating topic that spans over thousands of years. While our understanding of these migrations is continually evolving through archaeological, genetic, and anthropological research, I'll provide a general overview of the major migration patterns and routes that led humans to various parts of the world. Migration to Asia. India. Human migration to the Indian subcontinent is believed to have occurred around 70,000 to 50,000 years ago, with groups possibly traveling along the southern coast of Asia. China and Southeast Asia. Early human migration to these regions took place through multiple routes, including the northern route into East Asia and the southern coastal route that connected Southeast Asia. Migration to Europe. European ancestry. The first modern humans arrived in Europe around 45,000 to 35,000 years ago. They gradually spread across the continent, adapting to various environments and climates. Migration to Oceania. Australia. The migration to Australia involved crossing from Southeast Asia into Wallachia, the region between Southeast Asia and Australia, around 65,000 to 50,000 years ago. From there, humans reached the Australian continent. Indonesia and the Pacific Islands. Migration through island hopping across the Pacific allowed humans to settle in places like Indonesia, the Philippines, Polynesia, and Melanesia. Migration to the Americas. North America. The Bering Land Bridge, which connected Siberia and Alaska during periods of lower sea levels, facilitated migration into the Americas. People are believed to have crossed this bridge around 20,000 to 15,000 years ago. South America. Humans gradually moved southward from North America, likely using coastal routes, and reached South America around 15,000 to 10,000 years ago. Migration to northern Eurasia. Siberia. Siberia and northern Eurasia. This region was inhabited by early human populations that migrated eastward from Europe and Central Asia. These populations adapted to the challenging Arctic and subarctic environments. Migration within Europe. Different people groups. Europe saw migrations and movements of various ethnic groups over time, including the Celtic, Germanic, Slavic, and Romance peoples. These movements often resulted from a combination of factors such as warfare, trade, and environmental changes. Native Americans in North and South America. North America. Indigenous peoples of North America have diverse origins, with different groups having migrated from Asia over thousands of years. South America. Similarly, South America's indigenous populations are descended from various migration waves, with some groups developing advanced civilizations like the Inca and Maya. Northern European and Finno-Ugric peoples. Sami. The indigenous Sami people inhabit northern parts of Scandinavia and the Kola Peninsula. They are part of the Finno-Ugric language group, which includes Finnish and Estonian. Finns. The Finns are another Finno-Ugric group, primarily located in Finland. They share linguistic and cultural ties with other Finno-Ugric peoples. It's important to note that these migration patterns are based on archaeological evidence, genetic studies, and linguistic research. Additionally, human migrations are highly complex and often involve interactions between multiple groups over time, leading to cultural exchange and the blending of different populations. Our understanding of these migrations continues to evolve as new research uncovers more insights into the movements of ancient humans across the globe. The Finno-Ugric peoples are a group of related ethnic groups who share linguistic and historical ties. They primarily inhabit regions of northern Europe and western Siberia. The most well-known groups within the Finno-Ugric family include the Finns, Estonians, Hungarians, and various groups from Russia such as the Karelians, Udmurt, and Mordvins. Here's an overview of their history, languages, and some of the major tribes. History. The history of the Finno-Ugric peoples is complex and spans thousands of years. Their origins can be traced back to the Ural Mountains region and adjacent areas of modern-day Russia. Over time, they migrated to various parts of northern Europe and Siberia. Languages. The languages of the Finno-Ugric peoples are a branch of the larger Uralic language family. These languages are distinct from the neighboring Indo-European languages. The languages are known for their agglutinative nature, meaning that words are formed by adding suffixes and prefixes to a root, allowing for complex word structures. Some of the major Finno-Ugric languages include Finnish, spoken by the Finnish people, primarily in Finland. It's one of the official languages of Finland. Estonian, spoken by the Estonian people in Estonia. It's the official language of Estonia. Hungarian, the official language of Hungary, spoken by the Hungarian people. Karelian, spoken by the Karelian people in Karelia, a region encompassing parts of Russia and Finland. Udmurt, spoken by the Udmurt people in the Udmurt Republic of Russia. Mordvin, includes Erzya and Moksha languages, spoken by the Mordvin people in the Mordovia region of Russia. Komi, spoken by the Komi people in the Komi Republic of Russia. Mari, spoken by the Mari people in the Mariel Republic of Russia. Henty and Mansi, spoken by the Henty and Mansi peoples in Siberia. Tribes and peoples. The Finno-Ugric people include various tribes and ethnic groups. Some of the significant ones are Finns, the indigenous people of Finland. They have a rich history and cultural heritage. Estonians, the people of Estonia, known for their distinct language and strong cultural identity. Hungarians, Magyars, the dominant ethnic group of Hungary. They migrated to the Carpathian Basin and established the Hungarian kingdom. Karelians, inhabitants of Karelia, a region divided between Russia and Finland. Udmurt, the Udmurt people live in the Udmurt Republic in Russia. Mordvins, inhabit the Mordovia region in Russia. Komi, the Komi people live in the Komi Republic of Russia. Mari, the Mari people live in the Mariel Republic of Russia. Henty and Mansi, indigenous peoples of western Siberia, residing mainly in the Henty-Mansi Autonomous Okrug. These are just a few examples of the diverse Finno-Ugric peoples. They have preserved their languages and cultures despite various historical challenges. Their shared linguistic and historical heritage continues to be a point of connection among these various groups. Finland is a country with a rich cultural history and a diverse population. While Finland does not have traditional tribes in the same sense as some other regions, it does have various ethnic and linguistic groups that contribute to its cultural mosaic. Here are some of the key ethnic and linguistic groups in Finland. Finns. The majority of the population in Finland are ethnic Finns. They are speakers of the Finnish language and have a strong cultural identity that is closely tied to the country's history, literature, music, and traditions. Swedish-speaking Finns. Finland has a significant Swedish-speaking minority, particularly in the coastal areas of Ostrobothnia, Åland Islands, and some parts of the capital region, Helsinki. These individuals are Finnish citizens but speak Swedish as their first language. They are an integral part of Finnish society and culture. Sami people. The Sami are indigenous people who inhabit the northernmost parts of Finland, as well as areas of Sweden, Norway, and Russia. They have their own distinct languages and cultures. The Sami are known for their traditional livelihoods like reindeer herding and fishing. Roma people. The Roma, also known as Romani people, are a minority group in Finland. They have their own language and cultural traditions. The history of the Roma in Finland has included challenges related to discrimination and social integration. Tatar and Russian minorities. Finland is also home to smaller communities of Tatars and Russians, who have historically settled in the country due to various factors. These communities have contributed to the cultural diversity of Finland. Karelian descendants. Karelians, while not a distinct tribe, are a group of people who are descendants of the Karelian region, which is now divided between Russia and Finland. Karelian culture, language, and traditions have influenced Finnish culture, particularly in areas close to the former Karelian territory. Immigrant communities. In recent years, Finland has seen an increase in immigration, leading to the growth of various immigrant communities from different parts of the world. These communities contribute to the multicultural landscape of modern Finnish society. It's important to note that while these groups have distinct identities, Finland is known for its commitment to social equality and integration. The Finnish identity is often described as being inclusive of all its citizens, regardless of their ethnic or linguistic background. As a result, the country has worked to promote a sense of unity and shared values among its diverse population. Before the modern concept of the nation-state emerged, Finland was inhabited by various tribes and groups, often referred to as historical Finnish tribes. These tribes were semi-nomadic and lived off the land, engaging in hunting, fishing, and agriculture. It's important to note that the concept of tribes in this context is not the same as what you might find in more well-known tribal societies. Here are a few examples of historical Finnish tribes and their general locations. Tavastians, Heim, land. Central and southern parts of present-day Finland. The Tavastians were one of the most significant tribes in the area. Their territory included regions such as Heim and parts of Pirkanmaa and Kanta-Heim. Karjalaiset, Karelians, land. Eastern parts of present-day Finland, including areas around Lake Ladoga. The Karelians inhabited the region of Karelia, which extended into parts of present-day Russia. The Karelian culture and language have influenced Finnish culture, especially in eastern Finland.
Finland. 20 minutes. 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 20
Satakuntalaiset, Satakunta, land, southwestern part of present-day Finland, around the Gulf of Bothnia. The Satakuntalaiset inhabited the region of Satakunta and parts of the surrounding areas. Savolaiset, Savo, land, eastern parts of present-day Finland, particularly in the Savonia region. The Savolaiset were based in the Savonia region and are known for their distinctive dialect and cultural traits. Lapin Kansa, Sami, land, northernmost parts of present-day Finland, especially Lapland. The Sami are indigenous people who inhabited the northern regions of Finland, as well as parts of Sweden, Norway, and Russia. Suomensukiset Kansit, Finno-Ugric peoples, land, across various regions of present-day Finland, including the Sami, Karelian, and other related groups. The Finno-Ugric peoples, including the Finns themselves, are linguistically and culturally connected groups that inhabited different parts of Finland and surrounding areas. It's important to recognize that the boundaries of these tribes were not fixed, and there was likely considerable movement and interaction among them. Over time, as Finland became more integrated into larger geopolitical entities, the concept of distinct tribes began to fade, giving way to the development of a more unified Finnish identity. Additionally, these tribes were not organized in the same way as some more well-known tribal societies. Rather, they were loosely organized communities based on language, culture, and local geography. Tavastians, Haim, language. The Tavastians likely spoke a Finnic language, which is part of the Finno-Ugric language family. This language eventually evolved into what we now know as the Finnish language. Culture. The Tavastians inhabited the central and southern parts of present-day Finland. They were known for their agrarian lifestyle, relying on farming, fishing, and hunting for sustenance. They had a distinctive cultural identity that contributed to the formation of the broader Finnish identity. Karjalaiset, Karelians, language. The Karelians spoke a Finnic language similar to the Finnish language. While their language was closely related to Finnish, there were regional dialectal differences. Culture. The Karelians inhabited the eastern parts of present-day Finland, as well as areas of Karelia that extend into present-day Russia. They were known for their connection to the Karelian culture, which included traditional songs, stories, and customs. Karelian folklore has had a significant impact on Finnish cultural heritage. Satakuntalaiset, Satakunta, language. Like other tribes in the region, the Satakuntalaiset likely spoke a Finnic language that was ancestral to Finnish culture. The Satakuntalaiset inhabited the southwestern parts of present-day Finland, around the Gulf of Bothnia. They relied on a combination of fishing, farming, and trading due to their coastal location. They contributed to the diverse regional cultures that have influenced modern Finnish society. Savolaiset, Savo, language. The Savolaiset, like other tribes, spoke a Finnic language that contributed to the development of Finnish culture. The Savolaiset inhabited the eastern parts of present-day Finland, in the Savonia region. They were known for their distinct dialect, which has had an impact on the development of the Finnish language. The Savolaiset had their own customs, traditions, and way of life that influenced the broader Finnish culture. Lapin Kansa, Sami, language. The Sami people have their own distinct language family called the Sami languages, which is unrelated to the Finnish language. The Sami languages are part of the larger Uralic language family. Culture. The Sami are indigenous people who inhabited the northernmost parts of present-day Finland, as well as areas in Sweden, Norway, and Russia. They have a unique cultural heritage that includes reindeer herding, traditional crafts, and a deep connection to their natural surroundings. Suomensukiset Kansit, Finno-Ugric peoples, language. The various Finno-Ugric peoples, including the Finns, spoke languages that are part of the Finno-Ugric language family. This language family also includes Estonian, Hungarian, and various minority languages in Russia. Culture. The Finno-Ugric peoples shared linguistic and cultural connections that have influenced their ways of life, folklore, and historical interactions. While their specific cultures and histories varied, they all have a common linguistic and historical link. These historical tribes and their languages played a significant role in shaping the cultural tapestry of present-day Finland. Over time, as these groups interacted and merged, the Finnish language and culture evolved, drawing influences from their shared heritage and regional diversity.